Do you wish for something different for your life, but you simply don't have the energy to make it happen? Is Sunday a day with a background hum of agitation as you contemplate the week ahead? I get it. I've had those moments in my career too. Does your work fulfill you, or does it deplete you right now? The good news is that even if it is depleting you right now, you don't need to leave your job to make it feel better. Today I'm sharing what you can do to move the needle from empty to half full to full. Let's get started, shall we? Well, hello, beautiful people, and welcome to the Project Joyful podcast. I'm your host, Tracy Tutty, your medical herbalist and high performance coach. So, hey, Project Joyful isn't just about being happy. It's about consciously creating a life you love. It's about remembering how to reconnect with your soul-centered joy. You know, that joy that comes from doing what you love, from living on purpose, and from being in a life that allows you to experience deep joy moment by moment. So hey, let's get started, shall we? I was watching a comedy show last night and the comedian was talking about his ideal woman. He said his ideal woman was someone who was depleted by work. That way he didn't need to put any effort into the relationship and she would simply accept what she was given because she didn't have the energy to change it up. It clearly struck a chord because the way he told the story was funny, but he was met with that nervous laughter where you know a large part of the audience are laughing nervously thinking, "Ah, crap, that could be me." Does he, as they glance fleetingly at their partner, does he think that's me? Funny and also sad. The fact is, this life is far too precious for you to ever settle with what you've been given. And based on what neuroscientists are uncovering about how we actually see our reality through the lens of our reticular activating system, if we're settling for what we're given, then we'll create a world for ourselves where we get more of what we've already got. He's right about one thing though. It takes energy to make a change. Energy plus a feeling of safety. You see, your mind has one job, and that's to keep you safe. It equates safety with what's familiar, because if it's familiar, then I can predict the outcome. If I can predict the outcome, then there's a good chance that I won't die today, and that's the name of the game. So in order to facilitate change, we first need to convince our mind that it's safe to make that change. How do you do that? You do it through your superpower. The most finely attuned, intelligent piece of equipment you'll ever need in your life, period. Come on down and take a bow. Introducing your body. Being in your body is the key. They'll convince your mind that it's safe through a complex array of biofeedback loops. All you need to do is feel how you're feeling until you're done feeling it. And then cultivate the feeling that you'd prefer to feel, but only once you've done with experiencing what your body is sharing with you right now. Want more happiness in your life? Choose to feel happy. You can choose to feel happy right now, simply by thinking about something that lights you up. Your dog or your cat, the kids on a good day, your favorite holiday. When you notice a feeling that's not in the happy sector, feel it. Don't stuff it down. Don't pretend it's not there. Talk to it, hold it, honor it. And once your feeling is done feeling felt, learn from it. What's the wisdom within that feeling? What will you choose to think, do, or believe differently as a result of that learning? So if you're in a situation like your job that leaves you feeling depleted, take a look at what's contributing to that experience. For example, are you taking on more than you need to, making everyone else feel okay in order for you to feel okay? If you are, begin getting clear on what's your work as opposed to somebody else's responsibility. Plan for that conversation where you return that which isn't actually yours. Need some help with that? Practice it with a trusted mentor, friend, or coach. Make a plan so that you don't volunteer to pick up all the actions from that meeting. We've got a framework to help you do that in Revitalize. Using this framework, you can backwards map your actions, your feelings, your thoughts, and your beliefs. And it will help you to uncover what's triggering you into saying yes when you meant no in that meeting. Revitalize Gold is open for applicants right now. So if you want to work one-on-one with me for 9 weeks so that you have the energy to fuel the change, and more importantly, you have crystal clarity on what exactly it is that you want, then message me on Instagram or LinkedIn. Okay, so let's talk about another reason for feeling depleted by your work: how you structure your day. When we get busy, we have a tendency to attach ourselves to our seat, eyes glued to the screen. Not moving for hours on end has been linked to some pretty significant health risks. It's even been called the new smoking. Now you can counteract this using my 50-5-5 framework. 50 is the 50 minutes you'll dedicate to focused thinking. During this time, your phone is on silent. It's stored out of sight in your drawer or your bag, and anything that you don't need to get your focal point done in the next 50 minutes is closed down. So there's no email, no social media, no browser, unless you're using it during this time for research. Then get down into the weeds for 50 minutes. After 50 minutes, use the next 5 minutes to make a note of where you're up to and what's the next anticipated steps. Then take a stretch and grab some water. Making that note is key because your mind will continue processing in the background and you'll be able to start where you left off without needing 10 minutes of catching up, eating into your 50 minutes in your next focus session that's dedicated to completing this task. I'd also recommend adding in some natural peaks and flows by scheduling this time during your personal peak performance time, and follow it with some less arduous admin or connecting time in your next session. Be sure to schedule these focus sessions in ahead of time so that you don't get someone else's meeting plonked in your focus spot. Unless, of course, that's the time that you're showcasing your work, then use that focus point to its maximum. The last 5 minutes is where you move. You take a walk, you move about, anything but sitting at your desk. If you're letting your work deplete you, follow these 3 steps. Get really clear on what's in your lane. Just because you can, it doesn't mean you should pick up someone else's responsibility. Use the 50-5-5 framework to constantly renew energy and to signal focus time to your mind. And most importantly, make friends with your body. Listen using the shared language of emotion. Sending you lots of love. Bye for now. Hey, thanks for listening to today's podcast. Can I ask you a favour? If our conversation spoke to you today, could you please take a moment to leave a 5-star review? Your review will help people discover this podcast, and together we can create a world where there's even more love and more laughter. And if you want to hear more from the Project Joyful podcast, just click the subscribe button. Bye for now.